Hi, my name is Jeff. I'm one of the pastors here at UHOP and Encounter Church, and I want to share our vision with you. In 2007, UHOP began as a small prayer ministry, and from that point on, we've seen over 150,000 man-hours of prayer, Bible reading, worship, sitting at the feet of Jesus, crying out for a revival. And even now, we're open over 25 hours a week and continuing with the number of hours that we're sitting before the Lord and asking for Him to move in power in our city, in our state, and in our region. Our ultimate vision is that in connection and combination with churches in Sioux Falls, that we would see this room open night and day for hours a day, every day of the week, as a corporate environment of focused prayer, of focused intercession, focused worship, a context for new believers to come in and grow in prayer, in an atmosphere of friendship with God and friendship with one another. And so that's our ultimate vision, is hours a day, every day, in teamwork, in combination with other ministries in Sioux Falls. And why do we exist? We have two primary reasons for existing. Number one is intimacy with God. The prayer room exists to build or encourage intimacy with God among the church, among believers. The Bible says that God dwells in the midst of His people in context to corporate prayer and worship. As people gather together in His name, He comes with His manifest or His felt presence. And so we're creating a place of undistracted, worship-filled atmosphere that encourages intimacy with God in prayer, Bible meditation, Bible reading, all those kinds of things as a prayer ministry. So that's our number one reason, is intimacy with God and encouraging and fostering that kind of atmosphere for people to come in. And our desire is that when you come to the prayer room, that it would be a sacred place for you to meet with God in prayer. The second reason we exist as a ministry is to gather people to pray for revival. In the Bible and in church history, it's clear that God inspires people to pray, not just individually, but together, to pray for moves of His Spirit that would save and deliver a city, that would save and deliver a nation. And so we believe that God is going to do that in Sioux Falls, in the Midwest, and America. There's a famous quote from a revival historian, and in it he said this, that God always births a move of the Spirit through a movement of prayer. Or another way of saying it is this, that God always raises up a praying people that are unified and that are persistent. And He does that before He releases an outpouring of His Spirit and power. So we believe that as people gather together in Sioux Falls and at UHOP, that God is stirring and birthing something in prayer in order to usher something in to the spiritual realm and power and revival. Now, what does revival mean? Revival means 10,000 plus being saved every week in our state and in our region. It means radical salvations by the thousands in a way that's going to overwhelm the church and overwhelm society in a good way. It means healings and miracles and prophecy and deliverance manifesting through the church in a way we've never seen before. Greater than the book of Acts, but like the book of Acts. You know, you think of Acts 5. In Acts 5 and Acts 4, it says that everybody was healed and everybody was delivered when Peter and the other apostles were ministering in Jerusalem. And we're believing that as people pray and worship in extravagant ways all day, all night as a church in the city, that we're going to see Acts 5 types power breaking out in Sioux Falls and in our region. And so we believe it's significant that as that happens, that as tens of thousands get saved, as there's healings and miracles that are confronting Muslims and Buddhists and atheists, that they're going to get radically saved and change the way that they live in their marriage, in their business, what they do with their time, what they do with their money. And it's going to lead to a dramatic shift in society in a way that's going to honor God, and it's going to shift the power structures in our city and in our region. And so we're believing for intimacy with God as a ministry. We're believing for gathering intercessors and worshipers to pray for revival with a huge vision. So I want to invite you to join us in any way in the prayer room, and also check out other ways that you or your church can be involved in what we're already doing, or if you want to help us build the prayer room into even greater times.